Hello, and welcome to Morning Has Broken, and I don't want to fix it. Again, this is no longer morning, and that's okay. So here we are. It's been, I guess, at least 2 weeks since I started this, and it just feels pretty expansive and pretty awesome to just know that I get to connect more and more um, on this walk, on this journey with all of you. And today was a really big day in that journey, and I feel um, just really, uh, gosh, in a place where anything is really possible, and I'm starting to embrace more and more that it's okay for me to be, I guess, the leader in that belief, just the one who um, who holds the space for possibility and and allows for the most expansive miracles to happen. And and I'm getting more and more okay with that and just fine with that being the role that I get to serve. Um, so, and it's really interesting because today I went to a meeting that, it's the Housing and Homeless Task Force meeting, and it's always an interesting energy zone for me because there's a lot of people who are very caring and they care deeply about serving the needs of folks facing homelessness. And that's a place that's near and dear to my heart for many experiential reasons. So, um, so when I go to this meeting, it's a very interesting experience because I've actually attended this meeting on and off for about 17, 18 years now. And what's really interesting is that many of the same people have been sitting around a very similar table for those same 17, 18 years. And we may be talking about the same 400 to 800 families, and we may have been talking about them for 17 to 18 years. And that's where I feel a little bit challenged. I feel like, um, it seems like if homelessness were really about housing and affordable housing or whatever those things are, that that we wouldn't have been coming around the same table for the past 17, 18 years um, without coming up with valid solutions. We probably would have solved some more of of the issue by now if it were simply about houses or food or clothing or shelter. I learned today that it was kind of hard to hear that the community kitchen that I used to frequent a lot, and I probably will frequent more. You know, community kitchen. A lot of people refer to them as soup kitchens. It's really true that this is a community kitchen. It's not just a soup kitchen. It's not just about food. They really do sell community, and I learned today that a lot of their sources of donated food are drying up, and that that's sad for me. Um, I it's kind of weird because it was a sort of an oasis of abundance. I mean, the people who eat at Loaves and Fishes, every meal there's a blessing in advance of the meal, and every time someone volunteers to offer the blessing, and many times during that time, the prayer is to for for God or Source to look out for those who are less fortunate than even they are. And to me, that is true abundance right there. It's like those folks really know that they have enough, even though they may not have a lot. If to an outsider looking in, maybe they have more than we know we have, and that's why I call it a community kitchen and not a soup kitchen, because it's way more about the community that they bring to the table than it is um, uh, about food. So so I think they know that they've got a lot, and it's beautiful. So I feel charged. I feel that it's time to bring service to a whole new level, and to let people know what the gift of giving feels like, what it might mean to donate to Loaves and Fishes, um, what a restaurant might want to do to sponsor, what a food service organization might want to do, like a Cisco or a Main Source, or the Farmers Market Collective, um, how we might rally to just make sure that there's this sense of a continued sense of abundance there. So yeah, that's kind of weighing in my heart right now, and um, and that's real. I do tend to live in a place of abundance, and there are times where sometimes the facts that I get to hear, um, they really land. They help me understand that sometimes there is no room at the inn. Sometimes sometimes there isn't enough food, at least in the short term. You know, my feeling is, from a true sense of abundance, because it is indeed a community kitchen and not just a soup kitchen. People get more than they know that they're getting when they go to Loaves and Fishes. So that's where my faith will still continue. Um, it's just, I do hold a space in my heart um, for abundant resources to show up, and it's just a really special place. So I'm just kind of sending this one out, just in dedication, just with energy around that. Um, and I mean, it's an ongoing conversation. I know, like, worldwide there is more than enough food to feed every soul on this planet, hands down, several times over. Doesn't matter if you believe that a vegetarian diet will feed people better than, and it'll make more space to feed more people. The truth is, there are 7 billion people on this earth, and there's still more than enough food for every single one of them. The only difference between that statistic and everyone feeling fed and feeling nourished is access and power. And that's just the real truth. If people knew what the gift of giving felt like, what it felt like to help someone feel nourished, and on top of that, what it felt like for someone to feel nourished and able to give the gift of giving themselves, there's a lot of beautiful energy that can be created in that moment. And so that's what I'm holding the space for tonight. Um, it's probably one of the more serious of my messages, and my heart is in a different place around it, and I'm working it through. I didn't know what was going to come up when I pressed record, and this is it. So I love living in a world of abundance, and I pray that tomorrow more abundance flows to all the places that it could. And I love you all, and that's the message for today. So talk to you tomorrow. Love you. Bye.